I'm alive! Welcome to the good world.
1, 2, 3.
So come on in to a place that is fine. I'll be your friend and you can be mine. The world is a stream of constant bullshit, but that doesn't mean there's not a whole lot of good shit. You start with the lean and we can make something different. Let's build a world that is good.
This is a show for adults. Hello, friends. I am back. You thought I was gone. Maybe you thought that. I didn't think I was gone. I have been busy. First off, I was ordained. That is a thing that happened at this point several months ago. 6 months ago that happened. I have been ordained as an interfaith minister. I've been using the term interspiritual and also agnostic because I think those actually kind of describe my orientation a little more. I don't really think of myself. I don't know. The word faith brings a lot of implications that don't necessarily apply to me. Like I am not, my faith is in our ability to connect and build something better than we have, but people often interpret faith to mean like you need some kind of doctrine. And so when I say interspiritual, that can mean people who don't have any religious tradition. When I say agnostic, that's sort of a little more on the nose for me, because it is, I am agnostic ultimately. Like I have in terms of metaphysics, I have my beliefs about what I think are likely in terms of like divine power. I don't think any of our doctrines are spot on. I am closer to atheist than I am to a lot of other things. Ooh, voice crack. I love puberty. Puberty at age 43, 30 years into puberty. Fun fact. I feel like I've told this joke here before, but it's also a true story. Fun fact. When I was in 3rd grade, I went to a new school and my voice sounded pretty much like this. I already kind of hit puberty. I was like 8 or 9 years old. I had a very deep voice as a child. And so I showed up to a new school and the kids were like, "Hi, what's your name?" And I said, "I'm Seth. Hello." That's how I started my new school. Actually, that's not the only way that I started my new school. I also, that summer, had gotten an eye injury because my brother and I were playing like tennis baseball. Like I was pitching tennis balls and I think he was hitting with a racket. I don't think he was using a baseball bat, but whatever the case, he hit a ball and it bounced into my eye and it scratched my cornea. So in addition to starting a new school with a very deep voice for a child of that age, I also started a new school with an eye patch because you know what makes you really cool? Oh, let's be clear. Also, it wasn't like a pirate eye patch. It was gauze taped over my eye. Like it didn't look cool. When I say eye patch, I realize you think it sounds cool. I promise you it was not. Also, I had to sit out gym because that could have exacerbated my eye injury. So for the first 2 weeks at my new school, I couldn't participate in gym class and I had gauze taped over my eye and I had a very deep voice. And so I formed a sense of humor and here I am now. So agnostic, interfaith, interspiritual minister, you can sort of take your pick. Minister is a term that I've landed on because I know it has sort of Christian connotations, but it just means to tend to people, right? You're just tending to people. You're caring for people. And that's ultimately what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to care for people and for the world and also for myself. I'm just trying to care more. So I was ordained. I got to pick my title, which was, if I were coming at it from a specific background, there could have been something obvious, but I sort of had to, I was like, well, this is a chance to be creative. And if you haven't noticed, I like the chance to be creative when it comes to spiritual and theological things. If you haven't seen my 2-part series about my weird theology, I'll put a link down below to that, and you can learn more about how I like to use play and creativity in my religious and spiritual practice. But so had to come up with a title, and I was like, well, Reverend seems, sort of normal, sort of almost generic, and doesn't feel quite right. And I also, I enjoy spending time with Buddhist monks. I've had my dear friend and former Buddhist monk, formerly Brother Freedom, now just Freedom, because he's not a monk anymore, on this show. Freedom, Misha, Michael, he goes by multiple names. Who among us does not? Additional fun thing about me when I was a kid, I wanted a nickname so badly. I was so desperate for people to give me a nickname because, I don't know, I thought that would mean, I think I thought it would mean that people liked me. And so I tried so hard to get a nickname. And at some point when I was at summer camp, someone called me Wild Thing because I don't even remember why. I was also like 9, and I was just like, yes, nickname, everybody call me Wild Thing. Please call me Wild Thing. And so that I had a self-assigned nickname, which is also the mark of a very cool person for a while. But anyway, so I was like, well, I don't know, I could just be Brother Seth, like that could work. And that would have been a normal choice. But instead I decided that I couldn't choose between the two. And so I was like, well, I don't know anyone out there who's Reverend Brother, both of those things. So what the hell? Reverend Brother. And so I chose that. And so my title officially is that I am the Reverend Brother Seth. An additional thing that I learned that I didn't realize is apparently I thought that the word reverend and the word reverent were the same. I thought they meant the same thing. Apparently the word reverend is more like revered, like receiving of reverence, whereas the word reverent is giving of reverence. I do not consider myself to be worthy of reverence, no more than anyone else. Like, I think, being a human being is a great thing, but like, I don't want people to elevate me in that way, which also should be clear if you've been watching this for a while. And so I have an episode coming up in which one of my guests similarly went to the same seminary as me, the Chaplaincy Institute, and she goes by Reverend Mother with a T, Ana Luisa. Again, you'll see an episode with her later. And so I don't know, official, like on my email signature and on my I don't have a business, so I have friendship cards because that's the kind of person I am. I don't have business cards. But I used Reverend because I think even though it technically means revered, I feel like people don't realize that, or at least I didn't realize that. So I'm hoping that no one thinks that I mean like, yes, elevate me, put me above you, because that is not what I mean. What I mean is we are here together and let's work together to do cool stuff. And so that's sort of what my ministry is like, hey, how can we work together to do cool stuff? And so you may be wondering, hey, why has it taken me 6 months to post an episode post-ordination? You may recall that before ordination, I was like, yeah, I'm going to go on hiatus. I don't even remember when that was. It was February or March, I think. And I was like, I need to focus on ordination. And that was correct. And then time just goes. Time really, it just keeps happening, which is both frustrating and important to sit with. Because if you try to pretend it's not happening, you're going to be very disappointed because it's going to keep happening. But I was like, well, yeah, I'll pick it up after ordination. And then ordination happened, and then I went to Connecticut. It was my 20-year college anniversary, my 20-year college reunion, and I went to that, and then I came home, and I came down with some nasty bug. It wasn't COVID, but the symptoms were very COVID-like, but I took like 4 COVID tests, and they were all negative. I took flu tests. They were also negative, but it was unpleasant. It was, I was sick for it. That took me through like most of June. And then when I got better from that, I messed up my back. So between those two things, definitely took me through all of June. And yeah, I've had stuff going on, and as I have talked about before on this show, like, this is a practice, this is a habit to come in and sit down at my desk and talk to you. And boy, when you let yourself get out of practice, it can be hard to overcome that inertia and get started again. And so literally today, I don't have a plan of what to say. I'm just trying to tell you, like, hey, this is what I've been up to. And part of that is that I'm trying to overcome that inertia. I'm trying to push the boulder up the hill. That was a little bit of a raise the roof motion, and I didn't mean it that way. I'm pushing a boulder. I'm like Sisyphus pushing a boulder. Well, now I look like I'm recoiling from a monster. Well, whatever. So I'm trying to push a boulder. Trying to push boulder uphill. So though I have not been recording for this, I have been making things. I have been doing things. And the big one is, now that I'm ordained, sometimes people ask me to talk places. Also, I'm trying to do that more. So if you are a viewer and you have a place that you would like me to talk, if you know how to get in touch with me, just email or text me. If you don't have a direct line to me, put it in the comments. I read my comments on here. And yeah, I mean, I don't get that many of them. So if you are interested in having me come to, can be a church, can be a temple, can also be a company, can be a school, can be just a gathering of friends, and I can like tailor my content. I have sort of the improv comedy background, and then I have this whole spiritual piece, and there's a lot of room between those two things, and so I can sort of, I can talk to anyone. Ideally, I try to be able to talk to anyone anywhere. But so, as I said, people now want me to come and talk to them. And so I gave a sermon over the summer. I will put a link to that below. I think I put it on my TikTok, maybe on my Instagram. Voice getting higher. One of those. That was my uncertainty. This is my uncertainty voice. This is my slightly more certain voice. I don't have an absolutely confident voice. I just have degrees of uncertainty. Side note, that's a thing I really liked when I worked in data science. Working with data, doing statistics, people are like, oh, this can tell you the actual answer. Wrong. What statistics can do is give you some uncertainty, and it can quantify your uncertainty, right? Statistics, the point of it is not to say this is the answer. It is to say, well, this could be the answer, or it could be dumb luck, and there's like a 4% chance it's dumb luck, or a 98% chance it's dumb luck, or any number in between. And so the point of it is to quantify uncertainty, and I like that, because there's always uncertainty. You're never 100% certain. Sometimes you're 99.99999% certain, although usually if you're doing that, you're overgeneralizing something. But uncertainty. Talking about something. Yes, my certainty voice. People have me come and talk to them. So yeah, I'll put a link to the sermon that I did at the Unitarian Church in Sonora, California, which is, boy, it's beautiful. It's right outside of Yosemite. And I think I'm going to do a separate episode of this where I talk about, Susie and I went to Yosemite very recently. And so I'll talk about that in the context of some larger things. But yeah, so I'll link to that sermon. I also gave a sermon at Temple Bethel in Aptos, California, which is the temple that Susie grew up going to, the Jewish synagogue. And so I gave a sermon there. That was really exciting and fun. Both of these things were really exciting and fun. I will link to both of them. And sermons are fun because, like, there's a point to what I say, but there's also a lot of room for play and for jokes. And I have also I should also note, so I had my ordination. That's another thing where I spoke. I gave a 5-minute homily in my 2-minute homily in my ordination. All of us were required to speak for 2 minutes because there were 11 of us and we had to keep it moving because we didn't want the service to be like 5 hours long because that's not fun for anybody. So I will also link. This is a link fest. Today is a link fest. I hope if you are interested, there are going to be a lot of links for you. If you're not that interested in linking to other things, maybe this is like, am I amusing? Am I entertaining you? Please tell me I'm entertaining you. So the other place that I spoke is I worked with a local interfaith social justice organization, and we put together a prayer vigil here in Sacramento outside the building where ICE is detaining people, and that is a lot less lighthearted of a thing. Both generally, I try to keep things lighthearted in here, but also acknowledge that it is hard out there, and there's a lot of pain out there. And so I also spoke at that, and I'll put a link to that as well. And so if you like hearing me speak, and you have been missing hearing me speak for these last 6 months, good news. Here are a bunch of other opportunities to hear me speak other than this video that you're watching or listening to right now. Okay, it is time for me to take a quick break. So we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Please like and subscribe. Please like and subscribe. Please like and subscribe. Please like and subscribe. Please like and subscribe.
Yes, friends, that is your reminder to please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, share this with your friends, tell everybody you know about the good world and this thing that I'm making because you think it's great. If you don't think it's great, don't tell anybody. But if you like it, tell people, please, because I want to keep doing this. I enjoy, frankly, doing this, even though I know I said there's like inertia to overcome, because I sort of, I sometimes forget that I enjoy doing this. And also there's a lot of additional work that has to go into it. Like this part here where I'm sitting and talking to the camera, this is the part that's easy for me. The editing and the captions and all of the other things that takes more time and more effort. And so sometimes that is the thing that slows me down. But if you get me more of an audience, or if you want to donate to my Patreon or whatever, maybe I can hire someone to do that. Or hey, if you enjoy this and you know things about video production and you want to help me out by being a producer and an editor, and you want to do the parts of this that are not this right here, you could talk to me about that too, because I am looking for collaboration. I really, and this has been very clear to me so many times, frankly, across the last, not just 6 months, but longer than that. I really thrive when I am collaborating with other people. And the one thing that is challenging for me about making these episodes is how much I just am sitting and working alone. And I don't mind. I kind of enjoy the part where I sit here and talk because I'm a cishet white man in America, and I no one has ever told me to stop talking, so I can talk for a very long time. But the editing and all of the other stuff that goes into it, I would love to have someone else to work with on it. So if you are interested in being that person, or you know someone who might be interested in being that person, please let me know. I'm looking for, like, I guess they're kind of two different things. I'm looking for like an editor, someone who can do that part and like manage the posting and stuff. I'm also looking for like someone who understands how to do business and who can understand how to turn this into more than I know how to turn it into. Because I know those people are out there. I know a lot of people who are very good, have very good like business and marketing brains, and that is not my brain. This is my brain. My brain is here with, like, there's the through line, and then there's the tangent, and it comes back, and then there's the tangent over here, and maybe it comes back earlier, maybe it comes back later. It skips around a bunch, but I can sit here and I can talk to a camera. That's the part that my brain is good at. But if you have like a business logistics brain and you are interested in teaming up with me, which could be fun, please let me know that too. Okay, I alluded earlier, this is another thing I wanted to tell you. So I know I haven't posted anything in 6 months. I have actually been recording. I currently have 5 episodes. I believe the term is in the can, which definitely sounds wrong when I say it out loud. But I think they say that in like film world, video world. I have 5 episodes that I have recorded with guests. Because maybe I've mentioned this before, like those are also really fun for me. I love talking to people. I love it goes with the enjoyment of collaboration. I love getting to know people. I love learning more about them and what they do. So I have I have some guests who will also be appearing on the show, and I'll be posting those over the course of the coming months. My plan right now is to post one video a week. That's sort of what we're aiming at. And my hope is to get this up on a Wednesday and then have a video come out every Wednesday. And so in theory, it might be, what I'm sort of thinking is it'll be like 1 week is just me doing this, and then the next week is with a guest, and sort of alternating. Not sort of alternating. That was a filler word. Just alternating. So that's what I'm thinking about doing. That's the plan for the future of the good world. We're not gone. We have not gone away. We are here. I am right here. I was going to say, I haven't left my shed. I've left my shed. Don't worry. I don't live in here. I don't even spend that many hours a day in here. On a day that I'm recording, I'm in here maybe 2 hours. So I'm mostly in my house or outside. Outside this summer in Sacramento, outside has been really great. We had it was apparently like the most mild temperature summer in the on record for Sacramento, and it gets hot here. It can get hot here. Our first summer that Susie and I lived here, it broke the record for the hottest day. It got up to 117 degrees, which is too many degrees. That is a lot too many degrees. It's at least 17 too many, and I think it's kind of more than that. It was very, very hot that year. It fortunately has not. This was our 5th summer here, so it has not been as bad as that. And this summer, we got through all of July with like no 100-degree days. And then in August, it was finally like, all right, let's hit like 102, 103. But it still wasn't going crazy. What this was really good for, another thing I can link to, we have passion fruits that are growing in the backyard. We have this pergola it's like on our back patio, sort of right out our back door. It's from where I'm sitting, which means nothing to you. It's right there. And the pergola, it's 8 feet by 12 feet. And when I first assembled it from the kit that we got it from, we got these big pots for it to sit in, to put plants in, so the plants would kind of come up around it. And we got passion fruit vines. And the thought was, the passion fruit vines will grow over the top. We also got grapevines, grow over the top. And what happened was the pots did not give them enough soil to do that. And so this past winter, we put them both in the ground, and they have responded to that by reproducing like bunny rabbits. Is that a thing plants do? Like, not really, but the passion fruit alone now fully covers all 8 by 12 is 96 square feet. So it's all 96 square feet of the top of the pergola, and then also a couple feet down on every side, because we sort of want it to grow down to block the sun so we can sit there and be in the shade. And so I'll post a video. Like, we're going to have, by the end of this season, we will have over 100 passion fruits for sure. We have already eaten or given away like 20 to 30, and there are definitely at least 70 still on the thing. And there are like 10 in the kitchen right now. I have just been really enjoying the passion fruits because they're really, really cool. They taste great when you eat them also, but the flowers, like, this is not a thing that I ever knew about. Passion fruit flowers, I will put one up on the screen right here. I'll put a picture this is one of my passion flowers from my backyard on your screen right now. Look at how insane that thing is. And so those yellow like paddle things, that's where the pollen grows. And then the things that are kind of yonic. Do you know the word yonic? Do you know the word phallic? Yonic is like that for vaginas. Phallic is penis like, yonic is vagina like. You're welcome. So that yonic looking part, unsurprisingly, that is the female sex organ of the plant. So there you go. It actually, nature is crazy. It does the same thing in lots of different places. So here's a passion flower. If you're on audio, by the way, I'm sorry that you can't see it. I don't know. Just go look up a passion flower on the internet. And look how cool they are. There are lots of different kinds. Some of them fruit, some of them don't. Some of them produce different kinds of fruit. But these are sort of the like standard ones that they sell at plant stores here in Northern California. Northern California. We're really kind of Central California. California is very big. Like, I don't think I realized before I moved here, and even for a little while after I moved here, California is very, very long state. It's pretty big side to side. It's very big north to south. It is a big state. And people think of Sacramento as being in Northern California because it's north of San Francisco, and people think of San Francisco as being in Northern California because it's north of LA, and people don't know any other places in California. But if you go north from San Francisco, you will drive for another like 6, 7, maybe 8 hours before you get to Oregon. Like, San Francisco is about halfway up from the southern border of the state. Sacramento is it's like north central California. I've stopped showing you passion fruits at this point and just started talking about California. California is very big. Anyway, it's been a great summer for that. Also, we have done some really fun exploring of California. As I said, I'm going to talk more about that in a future episode. I think I have more to say than I can fit into the not very many minutes I have remaining of this episode. But that'll be also a fun thing to talk about. Yeah, I'm ordained. I have videos coming. I have been working with local political organizers. That has been fun and interesting. I've been visiting with friends. This has been a much better summer. Last summer I had surgery to remove a tumor from my abdomen. And this summer I did not have surgery to remove a tumor from my abdomen. And I will let you guess which of those summers was more fun for me. Look, I caught up on a lot of TV and I did some crochet projects, but like surgery recovery is not a fun thing. I would not recommend it to anyone. Also, if you're wondering if this is the first time you're hearing about the fact that I had cancer, first off, there's more links. I'll link to the episode where I first talked about that. But also, I'm fine. They took the tumor out. I don't have a tumor anymore. I have my next scan is coming up in like 2 weeks. I have to have a scan every 3 months just to make sure it's still not there, but everything has been all good every time. I'm on medication to keep it from coming back. I take pills. The medication is called Gleevec, which sounds like an alien from Rick and Morty, but it's the name of a drug because drugs have to have nonsense names. So Gleevec. Or it sounds like, so I'm going to say it sounds like a Jerry Lewis phrase, and then sort of updating it for people of my generation, it sounds like something Professor Frink would say because he's based on Jerry Lewis's nutty professor character. Gleevec. Anyway, look, Gleevec sounds weird, but it has kept me alive. It is like the reason that I am alive. So thank you, Gleevec. Okay, we can end it there. Like, I don't need to draw out the string just to fill. I've said basically everything I wanted to say today. I've made an episode, which I'm feeling good about. This is kind of fun, actually. It's a stress ball in the shape of a uterus. You should be able to see it. Smiley uterus. Because Susie works for a telehealth company that does like reproductive pre and postnatal care. And she went to a conference and a different company at the conference was giving away these little stress uteruses. And, my dear friend, Reverend Elaine, who has been on this show before, I sent them a video of, I have a couple of impressions that I do. They're very quick impressions. And so I feel like I need to show you now my impression of a uterus. So here it is. This is my impression of a uterus. That's the uterus on a good day. I don't have an impression of a uterus on a bad day. Another impression I have is of a sloth, like a sloth, like they hang from the trees. Here's my sloth impression. And then the other impression I have is an animal. If I ask you what's the opposite of a sloth, I don't think you're going to have an answer, but I will tell you that when it comes to these physical impressions, also, this is terrible content if you're listening. I think it's okay if you're on video, but if you're just doing audio, you have no idea what's going on. So I don't know, I guess just check out the video. So the opposite of a sloth is a blobfish. That's it. Sloth, blobfish. See, they're just opposites. All right, we're going to wrap it up there. This is what my brain is like when I'm off my meds. I'm actually not off my meds. This is what my brain is like on a normal day. I have taken my meds. You don't have to worry about what meds. It's like I'm on a very low dosage antidepressant because, have you been out there? It's depressing. And I'm also on a pretty low dosage ADHD medication. So yeah, I guess I'll reveal to you that I have ADHD. Is that a big surprise? That shouldn't be a big surprise. Well, thank you, friends, for your visit today. Now it's time we both go on our way. The world will still be insane tomorrow, but don't let that fill your heart with sorrow. You can thrive in a desert, just ask a saguaro. Please give to my Patreon. Capitalism is fun. Let's build a world that is good. This is a show for adults. Yay, we're back. We're so back, baby. We're back. Thank you for being here. See you next week.